Hey, everybody, it's Mike from Here, the Watchman. And we're coming at you today. We're going to talk about some important stuff. You've seen in the world today, you've seen the hurricane season, you've seen people that were stranded, you've seen in Indonesia, the earthquake, and then the following tsunami, and just the devastation there. And we're going to talk today about how do you prepare? How do you get ready for things that might come? Now, we're not talking prepper stuff. We're talking about stuff that will save you and your family's life if a disaster strikes. And, people say all the time, like, oh, you're doom and gloom. You think the end of the world is coming. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about natural disasters that happen every year. And we're coming up on winter here up in the mountains of Idaho. They're predicting snow in the next couple of days where I live, uh, way early in the season up here for us, way early. So things are changing around the world. It's a global issue. And today I'm bringing on Chance from American Survival Wholesale to talk to you about what you need to do to get ready for things to come. Chance, thanks for joining us today.
Blessings, Mike. It's good to be here. I'm very honored to be on the show again, folks. But today's information is really important. Okay, we just completed President Trump's National Preparedness Month, but we are in the middle of a major hurricane season. And Mike, as you just stated, the weather conditions around the world are so unpredictable. The patterns that we've experienced just in the past 2 or 3 years are very odd, and they're breaking records all over the world. We just saw a major damage in Indonesia, over 1,500 people that are missing. We've got hurricanes forming right now outside of the Gulf. It's important that you take this information, take it down, train with your family, practice in case there is a major disaster. But more importantly than anything else, be very familiar with your area. So if you are in an area that is prone to hurricanes or prone to tornadoes or prone to heavy flooding, take precautions now while things are calm. We just did some training recently, and we found that a lot of the issues that come after a disaster are the mental and the very painful experience of coming back to your home to find that many of your valuables have been destroyed, waterlogged, or just need to be replaced, right? And it's disheartening. So I'm going to give you guys some information today. Basically, we're going to talk about water. We're going to talk about flooding and some of the things that you can do before and some of the things that you can do after the fact, okay? So before the fact, if you're in a flood zone, make sure that you know what your escape route is. Make sure that you have a plan. Follow through with that plan and train your family. Get everyone involved. In a family of, say, 4, 2 adults and 2 children, everyone should be involved and everyone should have a responsibility, right? And when that time comes, it should be second nature. So you, during a disaster, know exactly what to do. You don't have to second think yourself. Your bug out bags are ready. Your supplies are in the vehicle. You have a safe route planned out. You've got a backup route planned out, right? So things like that are very important. Know your area and know what to do in case you have to evacuate that area, okay? Sandbags. If you're in a area, even if you're not prone to flooding, again, things are changing. Have your sandbags already put together in the garage or in a safe place so that if there's an imminent flood coming, you can put these like a berm around any entrance into your home. That alone, doing just that, will probably save yourself tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, in damage from water entering your home. Now, let's move to what you're going to do once you have returned to your home and you have damage, okay? Don't assume anything. Please, folks, don't assume anything. assume the worst, all right? Don't, if the power's out, please don't use candles, okay? If you have natural gas or there's a natural gas leak, you'll make that situation much worse. When you enter your home, look around very carefully, okay? If you're in doubt, call the fire department and let them go in first. But when you enter your home, you're looking for things like broken glass, right? Things that have fallen off of a shelf. You can't see them because your whole house is waterlogged, right? You got 6 inches to a foot of water on the floor. You've got to be very careful, okay? Don't turn on your power right away. As a matter of fact, what I would do personally is go to your breaker box and turn off your main breaker. You have to understand, water and electricity don't mix. So what's going to happen is the power company is going to turn back on the power at some point, and if your breaker's on and you're standing in water, well, you're gonna get a shock, okay? And it's not a good thing. So go ahead and turn off your breaker until things are cleaned up and you know it's safe to do so. Just remember, if you have major losses, folks, it's just stuff, right? It's just stuff. You should have already taken your important documents and copied those either to a digital file or to a safe deposit box or something like that. Anything that is something that's important to you needs to be put up high or put away. Just doing these things and again in advance will save you so much trouble. And before we go too much further, I do want to say this. We offer a very individualized free consultation. And what I mean by that is I'll ask you a series of tough questions via email. And we're going to take the time for your area to get you prepped and get you a plan that works for your entire family, because every situation is different. If you're in Idaho, your temperature is, your coldest temperatures are much lower than you are if you are in California, for example, or Texas, right? So you need to plan differently than someone that's going to, be living in a different location, and we can help you do that. So the consultation takes about 45 minutes to an hour. It's completely free of charge. We'll get you on the right track and get you safe.
Well, Chance, it's interesting that you're bringing this up. I mean, folks, we're not crazy. I mean, look here, in 10 minutes, I think it is, President Trump is going to test out the national alert system. I think what he's going to do is he'll probably send something out that says run the Democrats out of Washington. But he's going to test the national alert system today that will send a message to everybody that has a cell phone. So Chance and I aren't crazy. I mean, here in the mountains of Idaho, the weather changes on a dime. I mean, it's beautiful today. Right now, it's probably about 60, 65 degrees, but by tomorrow, there could be snow. So you have to be prepared. Chance, what do people really need to think about when they're talking about what's the mindset that they need to have?
Sure. So your audience is probably one of the more intelligent audiences that I've ever dealt with, because we've been talking about this for a long time, right? Being prepared. So let's break that down. There's 3 types of preparation that come to mind. Number 1, and the most important, Mike, is spiritual preparation. If you're not spiritually prepared, it doesn't matter how physically prepared you are. If you don't have the frame of mind in order to deal with the situation rationally and be able to focus on what's important and be able to give over all of the worry and all of the fear over to the Lord, because, fear is from Satan, right? So that's number 1. Number 2 is the physical preparation, but, we talk about that. And number 3 is the mental preparation, right? How do you get to a place, Mike, that you feel so comfortable in any situation that if a disaster were to come your way, without a shadow of a doubt, you're going to do the right thing for your family. You're going to keep them safe. The only way to do that is training, right? So when I was in the military, we did the same exercises over and over and over. I mean, it seemed ridiculous at the time, but after a while, when you start doing an exercise 8 or 9, 10 times, the next time it's just all instinct, right? You do it instinctively, not because of anything else, but you know exactly what you're doing. So that mental preparation is huge. And again, there's no place for fear, none at all, right? So you've got to understand that, you know, disasters happen and you're going to get through it and you're going to be just fine if you follow the advice that we're giving today and others that teach you how to prepare. Now, there are a couple things that aren't really discussed as far as items that you should have, but they are important, okay? Everyone out there, I don't care where you live, I don't care if you're in Indonesia or you're in Idaho, you need to have a shortwave receiver, something that can receive NOAA weather bands, and something that when the power goes out, because ham operators still operate on battery backup, you know where it's safe to go and where it's not to go. Many of your local television stations will be down. Your AM, FM radio stations will be down, right? So you have to be prepared and be able to listen to these shortwave broadcasts so that you know what to do and where to go when it's that time, okay? We have a 7-band radio. It's called the Voyager. It's at a wholesale price of, I think, like $55. Very inexpensive for having 7 different bands and can charge your phone. Okay, so check that out on our site. The next thing is having 2-way radios. Okay, most of us understand that we're separated from our spouses, sometimes our children, and that can happen. A disaster can happen at any time. Everyone should have 2-way radios set on a frequency that's preset, and you've trained using them, right? Good radio is like our wind and go. It doesn't require batteries. You just wind it up. It charges the batteries themselves. It's got like a 3-mile radius. That's also very important, folks, that you have something like that on hand, because you need to be in communications with your spouse so that you guys can get together, know where each other are at, and get your family safe.
You know, Chance, that's great information for people to have. And, you know, you guys, you think that, you know, if you're going to have a ham radio, I mean, for those of us that are ancient like me, you have this picture of this big device that you have to have a huge antenna. And I just want to show you, this is what we have, and it's not a ham radio, but you can crank it. It's got a crank here so you can charge it. It's got a USB port in the back, and it'll get you NOAA. It'll keep you abreast. You can't talk to anyone with it, but it'll keep you abreast of what's going on out there. So these are real world solutions to what's going on. Now, Chance, I want to ask you about having your car prepared. Up here, I carry in my car year-round chains, a hatchet, and a small shovel. And I do that because I never know where I'm going. And I will share this with you. When we first moved up here, I was going to go drive down to Boise, Idaho to pick Jeannie up from the airport, and I got lost, hopelessly lost up in the mountains at night. And I've never had that happen before. Fortunately, in my car, I had a blanket, one of those space blankets. I had some, you sell these, Chance, these like power food bars or whatever. And I had some extra dog food because I had the dogs in the car with me. And we survived. We pulled off on the side of the road in the middle of the night. It was cold, but we survived just fine. What do people need to have in their car to be prepared for something that might happen?
It's a really good question. I'm glad you asked it. So now let's get back to what we talked about earlier. It depends, Mike. The answer depends on your area, right? So if you are in an area that gets pretty cold at night, of course, you're going to prepare a little bit differently. I suggest that you have a sleeping bag that's rated for your area. Many people have frozen to death just because of a situation like that, or a breakdown or something like that in the middle of nowhere. So you want to make sure that you have a sleeping bag that's rated to your area. You can put it in a special dry bag or a vacuum seal bag to reduce it in size. Also, water and food, having some water pouches. Don't use plastic bottles, because when it gets hot, they leach BPA's into the water. So having some water pouches on hand, some emergency food rations on hand is very important. And then having, a small automotive survival kit. I mean, if you need jumper cables, right? You're going to need a hatchet or something like that. You're going to need gloves. You're going to need a flashlight. Many things like that. Again, those two-way radios, they're huge, right? So you can reach out to someone. So each area, I think, depends on what you're going to put in your kit, but absolutely have a kit ready to go in your car at all times. A first aid kit. I mean, there's so much more. I could go on and on, but each area, again, you would need a different style kit. So let's get back to this. Reach out to us. Okay, I can help you with that as well. Our email is bugoutamerica, BUGOUT, America @USA.com. That's bugoutamerica@USA.com. Please schedule a consultation that's good for you, and I'll get back to you immediately. Okay.
Well, now, that's good information. And is there a phone number that people can reach you at?
Absolutely. 818-720-0759. 818-720-0759. We're open every day but Saturday. That's our Sabbath.
That's amazing. I mean, and now, Chance, if I'm not mistaken, you guys have a variety. Time people die every year. Usually, tourists from Texas that come up here and don't know what they're doing. But they come up here, they freeze to death. You have a wide variety of products, something for every part of the country and the climates there too, right?
Absolutely. So not only do we prepare you and your family, but we have pet survival kits. Folks, don't forget about the other kids. Mike and our kids are gone and grown and out of the house, but our dogs, those are our babies, right? So if you have cats, if you have dogs, make sure that you prepare for that as well. One thing that I love to see is at some of the prep shows that we go to is these little doggy backpacks. Okay, it's a special pack that straps onto your animal, and he or she carries around their own survival products, their own pet first aid kit, their own food, their own water. They carry it around with them everywhere they go, right? So don't forget about your pets. Yes, we can help you prepare for any part of the country. Matter of fact, any part of the world. It's very important that you understand until you need it, right? You never know. Until you need it, you don't realize how important this is.
That's a very good point. Chance and I have a friend who's traveling from the East Coast all the way out to Port Angeles, Washington, with his 2 cats. And there's nobody that's better prepared for taking care of his animals than this guy is. And that's an important thing to remember, is that you have to have on hand something to take care of those animals. And if it's like up here, we have farm animals up here. You got to take care of them. So Chance, again, how do people get a hold of you? What's the website? How do you get the product to them?
Our phone number is 818-720-0759. Again, that's 818-720-0759. And you can reach us by email at bugoutamerica@USA.com. Again, that's bugoutamerica@USA.com for a free consultation. I promise you, folks, I will spend the time with you. to help you get to where you need to be. All I ask is that you have an open mind, because there are things a lot of folks out there think they're prepared, right? When I look at what they've done and where they need to be, sometimes they're in shock, like, whoa, I didn't think about that, right? So it is very, very important that you understand things are not going to get much better with our weather patterns, folks. It's insane right now. So let's do what it takes right now together and get this accomplished, okay?
Well, you know, I mean, I want to bring up one more point, Chance, before I let you go. And it's, you know, Jeannie and I are heavily prepared. But the other day we were talking with one another and we said that, you know, if it hit the fan, where is all this? I mean, we've got tons of stuff, but where is it? Is it important to organize and to know where everything is?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, more important than even having it organized is every month, go downstairs, go upstairs, wherever you keep your preps. The lower the better normally, but off of the floor in case there's flooding. Do an inventory and check your dates, right? Folks don't understand that even medical supplies like Band-Aids have an expiration, right? The worst thing that you can imagine is you've got a bad cut, you open up your first aid kit, and the bandage, the paper has separated from the bandage protective sterile cover, and now you have something that you're putting a bandage on that's not sterile, right? So check your dates on your food, okay? If you have canned food stored, please, folks, it's aluminum in many cases. Don't take chances with that, okay? Long-term storage is the way to go. But if you do have cans, check those dates, donate them to a food pantry or something like that if they're getting close, that they can be used right away. But yeah, just check and keep an inventory of your supplies. Make sure that you're not storing water in plastic bottles. Make sure they're BPA-free containers. And have enough water on hand. I know that this is going to take us in a different direction, but I'll say this. Most folks don't look at their water bill. In an emergency situation, yes, you're going to ration, but please don't forget, you need water not just for drinking purposes. You need water for cleaning and cooking, okay? So if you don't have 200 gallons of water or access to a river, lake, or stream that you can filter that water, you're in trouble. Okay, if there's a major disaster, let's say it's an EMP and there's no water for 6 months, what are you going to do? So you need to have 200 gallons of water on hand per person, just in case. And we can teach you how to do that as well.
That's amazing. So listen, folks, before we go, Chance, the website, so people can go on and check out everything that you have to offer. What is your website?
I'll give you both. It's www.americansurvivalwholesale.com. By the way, we're looking for distributors for that site. www.americansurvivalwholesale.com. And our sister company is www.simplycleanfoods.net. www.simplycleanfoods.net. As a matter of fact, folks, if you use the code Simply Clean, simply space clean, on that site, you can save 10% today off of some of our packages that are already reduced in price. So please take advantage of that. That food is GMO free. It's the only food on the market right now, like fruits and vegetables that are tested for heavy metals. Our turkey, beef, chicken, and cheese are amazing. So check those out as well. And we'd be more than happy to help you guys get prepared.
There you have it, folks. Simplycleanfoods.net, AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com. Get on there, take a look, get yourself ready for what's to come. You know, here's the thing. If nothing happens, oh well. But wouldn't you rather be prepared if something does happen? Get on there, get on board today. Chance, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. We look forward to having you at Operation Classified coming up in November 9th through 11th in Dallas, Texas. That's John B. Wells Conference. It's going to be an amazing event that will talk about all the pertinent things that are happening in the world today. So get there, be informed, go to operationclassified.com or go to caravantomidnight.com. Get your reservation today. Be there, be prepared. Chance, again, thank you so much for joining us.
I hope to see all of you there. Well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate you having me on. Again, folks, reach out to us. We're here for you, okay? God bless.
Again, folks, go to AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com or SimplyCleanFoods.net. Get on there, get busy, be prepared. Until we see you next time here on the Watchman's Report, remember, there's nothing that you can't do without Jesus in your heart, except nothing at all. Get out, get busy, make a difference in the world today. God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you next time here on the Watchman's Report.